There's just so many. Whoa. What do they say? Save the best till last. Woo. Oh, see that mouth wide open right at my chest. This is the Venom Diaries, where we milk Australia's deadliest snakes for their venom to create anti-venom that saves over 300 lives every single year. G'day everyone, welcome to Venom Diaries. This is episode 10, coming about fast they're flying by. Today's an exciting one. I'm milking brown snakes. I'm going to go through and milk literally all the brown snakes whilst answering a stack of questions from you guys that you've left on my Instagram the last couple of days. So yeah, I'm going to be poking through, milking, pipetting brown snakes, and make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode because that's when I'm going to announce what's going on with the giveaway, and I'm really excited about that one. The first question though was, how did I get into what I do and why do I do what I do? It all started back in 1991. It was the first ever time I went to the reptile park. It was the old reptile park at Wyoming. I was in kindergarten. We went there for a school excursion and we zoomed around the park. I was super excited. It was the first time I really got to see snakes up close and personal. We went to the reptile show and then one of the reptile keepers came down and milked a tiger snake in front of me. Bang, right there, just like we do today. And I said to my teacher, I looked up at, I think her name was Mrs. Chapman, and I said, I'm going to do that one day. And she laughed, like, exciting. And then I just became obsessed, right? And I obviously grew up watching documentaries as much as I possibly could. I was in the bush literally every second I had when I wasn't at school. Even when I was at school, I was normally in the gardens catching blue tongues and snakes. And yeah, it sort of progressed from there. I finished school. I was sort of a little bit unsure. I thought it would be really hard to get into this industry, and I sort of put it on the back burner for a little bit. I did about 18 months out of school, and then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to see if I can volunteer. So I lived half an hour from the reptile park. I parked up here. I walked in. There was a sign at reception saying wanted volunteers. So I said to the Sheila over the counter, hey, how do I go about this? And she gave me a form I filled out. Liz Vella, she's one of the directors here now, a good mate of mine, she interviewed me the next day, put me on that weekend as a volunteer. 3 months later, I was full-time reptile keeper, working full-time anyway, and that was 2006. So yeah, started as a volunteer and now I'm the park manager. I manage the Venom program and life is good, all right? So if you love something, make sure you go for it. I had plenty of setbacks and downfalls and so on, but I just kept going and going and going, and here I am now. So yeah, it's probably I get that question a lot. I love it and I love answering it because I love talking about while I'm here. And obviously with the Venom program, I'm extremely passionate about it because it saves hundreds of human lives every single year. So follow me, we're gonna get the first brown snake out. It's a very jumpy one. It's one of the smaller snakes. It's down the end here. It is a extreme caution. He's already mouth open, cane on a little bit here. So he is definitely excited about what's going on today. Ooh. Oi. Oi. He's going right at me crutch there. He's wired. So yeah, this is one of those wild caught Eastern Browns he's about to go again. He's just building from Southeast Queensland under permit. Really nice snakes, not big, not overly big yet, but definitely getting there. This is the tricky part. Oi. See that, he's lining my wrist up there and coming up, mouth open. Gonna switch hands here. Go lefty. Woo. Next question, have I always liked snakes? I've always loved snakes. Growing up, when I was younger, back in the, I'm an 86 model, so yeah, 1986. Then most people looked at snakes as, you know, these killers that needed to be cut in half with shovels and so on, where that didn't really sit right with me. So I always did my best to try and, if I seen one near home, especially my grandparents' place up at Ulangai, and oh, look at that bit of venom. That's a good little squirt there. Like my dad's dad wasn't a huge fan of snakes. He used to, try and get rid of them. Where I didn't really like that, so I was always trying to shoo them away, and I would never tell anyone if I seen one. And then as I got older and I do not recommend this, but I started catching snakes from a pretty young age. I won't say how young, and hiding it behind my parents and so on, because I was just so worried that someone was going to kill them. So I'd catch them and move them off somewhere because I was so worried. But these days, snakes, there's so much education and awareness around it. A lot more people are for snakes. Like my old man, he was always pretty nervous around snakes. He wasn't the biggest fan, but nowadays, obviously with what I do, he's a lot more respectful. He's even pulled over on the road when there's been like big carpet pythons and diamond pythons on the road, and he's shooting them off with a stick so they don't get hit by a car. So I reckon the generations are starting to change and more people are respecting snakes. And yeah, for me, I've been literally obsessed with them from day one. Can't get enough of it. Oh, he was naughty. So, next question. My favourite snake to work with has to be king browns. I've been obsessed with them for as long as I can remember. I still remember the first one I caught in the wild out in Western New South Wales years and years ago. I love, they're big, they're impressive, they come in a stack of different colours, and they're actually pretty easy to work with. Like you've probably seen in the videos with me, whether it's on here or on my socials, I'm a lot calmer with the king browns. They're really uninclined to bite. They're just really impressive snakes. I love them. Like, it's unusual. Woo. Hello, mate. For most people think about king browns and they're like, oh, they're the big king browns that chase you through the bush and so on. But it's not the case at all. They just want to be left alone. And oh, this is a beautiful snake. Yeah, so definitely king browns. But I've got a stack of snakes I love. I tell you, even these ones, the eastern browns. Still remember catching my first eastern brown in the wild when I was pretty young, and mate, it gave me some curry. I remember after I caught it, I was just a shaking mess. Like I was just so excited. I was full of adrenaline. I was just like, what just happened? But it was like one of the best days of my life, catching my first eastern brown. Really nice spots on this one. Really nice snake. Alrighty, so he'll probably wrap around my arm, I would imagine. He normally does. Alright. This one normally wraps almost every time I milk him, he does this. So Eastern Browns, surprisingly, even though they're so venomous, I think I talked about this in one of the last episodes, maybe last episode, they not only bite and envenomate, but they also wrap their prey. Because I've got him, he probably feels a little bit threatened, so he's throwing himself around, which is harder for me to get him off me. If he had the opportunity to bite, he could really ruin my day, but I've got him by the head there. But I do find these smaller ones definitely more reactive and harder to handle because they're so short. They come past your hand so fast. So the different snakes definitely have different personalities. I've got an Eastern Brown here that is that quiet. I wouldn't do it, but I could literally almost put him around my neck. Like he's just so chilled. Where this guy, he's been in captivity longer than that other one, and he's just never calmed down. He's just wired all the time, and working with him definitely keeps me on my toes, that's for sure. It's exciting. Alrighty, so now I'm going to get out the action cam. I'm going to mount it to my hat. That's why I've got the hat on, so you guys can see my view of these. The next ones are, they're all extreme caution. So they give me a fair bit when I open up that cage. So hopefully you'll get a real good view looking straight down the barrel of what I see. So I'll get it on now and we'll go and get the first one out. Alrighty, so we're action camera time. So next question is, this is a bit of an odd one. If I had to get bitten by one of these snakes, which one would it be, as in which species? Look, I wouldn't want to get bitten by any of them, but if I had to pick one, if I had a gun to my head and had to pick one, it'd probably be Death Adder. The antivenom responds really well. The antivenom responds really well with all these, but the Death Adders respond really fast, recovery is really quick. The bites are meant to be fairly painless as well if they're bandaged and treated straight away. You can get nerve issues from adders, especially around your fingers and so on, if you don't treat the bite straight away or you don't do first aid. So yeah, that would be my pick, but definitely not Big Shazza, all right? Because she'd ruin your day very, very fast. All right, so I'm gonna get, here we go, extreme caution. I'm just gonna move this water bowl out of the way. Yeah. Hello, mister. So this guy's actually, Wait. He's actually shedding his skin. So he's just starting to rub his nose to peel it off. So I'm going to leave him be, because if I grab him now, you can see the skin starting to come off. I'd literally just peel it straight off him and it'd be hard for me to hold onto him. So I'll leave him. I'll milk him in a couple of days once he's shed his skin. And I will go to this fella here. Again, extreme caution. And big. Very, very big snake. And he's looking wired. See how he's looking for an escape route, can't get one. Oh no, he's actually been all right. Hey mate, touch wood. He's normally, oh, he's starting to jump a bit now. I'll just be nice and calm. Try and execute this fairly quick. Get him onto pin and pad. Boom, like so. Oh, nice snake. Look at those belly scales. So, get him on here. Not a great deal. A little bit that side, not much. There we go. Don't want to give me heaps today, probably only 10 or 11 milligrams, but still extremely important. And look at him, what an impressive looking snake. Absolute unit. Now, next question. How did it feel to milk my first snake? That sounds a little funny. So I was actually, it was with our park owner, director, John Weigel, who's been here for, like over 40 years. He's like been a big idol of mine for a long time, even before I started the park. It was in front of him, so I was really nervous because I didn't want to stuff it up. We put a photo of it actually in last week's episode. If you missed it, make sure you check that out. It was, it was a Chapel Island tiger snake. No, sorry, it was a Tassie tiger snake, I think. And yeah, that was the first one. And I got to admit, I did so much training and I did so much practice for it. And then to go up there and do it, it was just an incredible feeling, and I knew right then and there that I had to keep... Well, you're in shed as well, mister. I'm gonna leave him. He's just starting to shed his skin too. I knew right then and there I'd made the right decision on career choice, all right, because it was fantastic. There you go, and this is a big snake too. Very reactive today. This is like a almost 6 foot brown snake. I'm a fairly short fella. I think I'm 167 centimeters, and this guy is definitely longer than me. Watch out. Up here, mister. Straight on. There. Lovely. Just like diffusing a bomb. All right, so mister onto here. So, next question. That's a good yield. What's the scariest snake to work with? Well, for me personally, I reckon it's coastal taipans. They're just so big, so calculated. When they turn ready to defend, they are seriously intimidating. I've caught stacks of those in the bush, worked with hundreds of them in captivity. I've had some absolutely insane close calls with them, especially out in the bush. One I caught a long time ago, like 2013. I could barely even get my hand on it. I ended up yelling at my mate Peter. It was we're on a station up in the bottom end of Cape York, and I could barely get my hand on the tail to get it off the road. So my mate Peter had to get like a bushy stick, and I had to sort of use that almost like a hook to hold him properly, because I just couldn't hold onto him. He was just going that crazy, and it was like a 7 foot snake. It was absolutely massive. So yeah, for me, it would be coastal taipans for sure. Get this guy to the pin and pad. You know, I feel like sometimes when I'm doing these Venom Diaries for you guys, I don't show enough milkings. I really want to show more because I know that seems to be what you love the most. So at least today you can see a fair few, even if it's just the one species. There's lots of it going on, so exciting. Alrighty, straight on there, mister. Ooh, nice yield. Lovely. Now this fang. Oh, that's a good yield. All right, so next question. How old do the snakes need to be before we can use them in the venom program? That's a good one. So it'll depend on the species. Like coastal taipans, they grow really quick and they get big quick. So normally they're, by about 2 years of age, they're like 5 foot and we can start milking them. The Eastern Browns, if we have captive bred ones, it can take like 5 years. They're really slow growing. It can literally take 4 to 5 years before they're big enough to be used in the program. The tiger snakes, it's 2 to 3 years. The death adders, again, captive, like death adders are born, they're literally 10 centimeters long. They're tiny. So that can be 2.5, 3.5 years before we're milking them. The king browns, usually 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it'll definitely vary on the species. And then they can be in the program for literally up to 20 years, you know. The oldest snake in the program would have to be, he's a big Western New South Wales king brown. I've got him in the other building. He is a monster. He's so big, and he was a wild caught snake, and he was already an adult when he was caught, and that was like 15 years ago. So he's probably every bit of, I would imagine he'd be coming close to his mid-20s for his age. This guy, actually, the other day, I should have had the camera on because I went to pull him out like this and he flew straight over my head and he landed on the top of that bank up there. So it looks like he's about to try and bite me on the boot, but we'll see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the other day, just cleaning him and he just come, wait, see that? He's ready for a strike mid-air then. On there, mister. Good boy. Alrighty. So next question is, can snakes recognize me? I think so, definitely. You know, in particular, pythons for sure. Like we've got snakes we use, he's missing a fang on that side, so he's got a new one coming through, and he's got the same going on this side as well. Oh no, there we go, fang. Doesn't want to give me much venom though. Yeah, like a lot of our show snakes, you literally open the enclosures up, they come straight out to you. Very comfortable on your shoulders, so I imagine they are quite, you know, would definitely recognise you. And even some of the snakes here that I work with are really quiet with me. Others just, I guess it's just their personality. But, you know, it's hard to say with snakes because, like all reptiles, they don't have, they don't have a limbic system like we do in the brain. So they don't have that emotion that we have. But I definitely think they recognise different people. And yeah, comfortable with some, maybe not comfortable with others. The more comfortable you are at handling, the more comfortable the snake's going to be. All right, I'll put it that way. All right, we're going to take the camera off and we're going to do a little bit more and then talk about the giveaway. All righty, so next question is, have I been bitten or have I had extremely close calls? I haven't really had a bite in the program or outside really. You know, I've had pythons bite me and anacondas and non-venomous stuff. I've had extremely close calls, like snakes literally brushing past my face. There's a video I was filming here about 2 years ago of Cody Peterson from the US, and in that filming we were doing, I got an Eastern Brown out, and as I went to put him on a pinning pad, he literally came past my face. Like, it was insane how close it was. Like, and I just sort of matrixed out of there. This is leading into the next question as well, is how do I control the snakes? So like, he shot up past me, and what I do, it's all in the movement of your wrist, right? So snakes have got, you know, hundreds of muscles, individual muscles running down their body. And so I just sort of flick my wrist. You've probably noticed it in videos and so on. I move and you'll see their head turn side to side. I can almost direct them. And then if I've missed it when they're doing that and they come up past me, I do it at the last second, and you'll see in that video, he comes up past me and I sort of flick him or like I literally go like that and he just comes straight past me and then around like that. It was so close and we got it on camera. Like I've had stacks over the years, but most of them not on camera. I've looked at a few security footage. I had a Taipan almost literally but I had him locked into my hook and he shot up at me and I sort of locked him in the last second and he got to like there. So yeah, but I don't love close calls, but it happens, you know? So I just prepare myself for it and do my best to avoid. And yeah. All right, so almost done the brown snakes now. Gone through and done quite a lot this morning. Jesse's actually following behind me cleaning. So I'll introduce Jesse in the next couple of weeks properly. He's just started in the program properly. He was one of our reptile keepers and he's come over to pretty well full-time venom. So if you come up here, you might see him milking a tiger snake in the window here at the daily milkings or out in the park. So make sure you say good day to him. And yeah, I'll do some training with Jesse because that's a question I get a lot is, you know, what training's involved and so on. So there's a lot. It's not for everyone. You know, you need to be able to be calm, focused, very calm. It's just starting to come down now. Good yield that. Good snake. One of my favourite ones. He's actually, oh, there we go. He was really naughty. Like I put up a video of him when I was moving him from the old facility to here. And he literally, like I stepped out of the frame of the footage, he was going that berserko, but he's actually calmed down a bit. A lot of wild, like this guy's wild caught, you can see he's got a scar here. So that would have been tackling another animal. Could have been from a big rat biting him because they wrap him, these brown snakes. Could have been from a big, which I would imagine that's what that's from. These big fellas are primarily feeding on rodents. Real nice snake. Quite light, it's almost grey. All right, so can snake venom affect other snakes? Absolutely. All right, so, but then you look at like the completely harmless black-headed python and Weymouth python, they're completely immune to snake venom, right? So they primarily feed on snakes and other reptiles. So like blackheads and Weymouths can literally eat brown snakes, get bitten by them, no dramas, right? But like king browns primarily feed on other snakes. They can bite them, overpower them, kill them with their venom. You look at king cobras, they kill snakes that are more toxic than they are. Kill them, overpower them, eat them. So venom from other species can definitely affect them. And also, like king browns will eat other king browns. So they can literally just overpower them and give them an overwhelming effect from their own venom and kill them like that too. So yeah, it's pretty wild, the snake world. And venom, she is a dangerous thing. All right, so, hey mate, this is the last one I'm doing. Today I won't be able to put all the footage in because there's just so many. Whoa. This guy is, what do they say? Save the best till last. Woo. Oh, see that mouth wide open right at my chest. Calm down, mate. This guy is normally not too bad. But today, he is having a fair dinkum crack at the title. Woo. Now I'm starting to sweat. Gotcha. Just shed his skin too. He's got a little bit of skin stuck on his nose there. So I'm just going to peel that off. All right. Hopefully my mum's not watching this one. Funny snake. Good yield too. Look at that. Yeah, see how he's carrying on? He was just whipping. And, oh, nice. Whipping. Trying to put space between myself and him. And obviously I wasn't letting go. So he just kept coming. Some snakes are just so much more reactive than others. But he's actually not normally like that. Whew. And he just didn't stop. He just kept going. Alrighty, thank God that's over. Next question, first aid for pets with snake bites. It's a tough one because most people don't realise their dog or cat's been bitten by a snake until there's extreme symptoms like they're collapsing or worse. But if you did see your snake, for example, your dog or cat get bitten and it was on a limb, you could definitely pressure bandage it, like what we would do for ourselves, and get straight to a vet. Yeah, that'd be the best solution. And if you suspect your snake's, your dog or your cat, or even your horse or whatever is being bitten by a snake, vet straight away. Don't muck around. It can happen really fast, as in death can happen really quick with pets because they're normally running around and their heart rate's really high, and because the venom's traveling through your lymphatic system, it gets to the blood system quite quickly, and once it's there, it's really hard to reverse symptoms in some of these animals, some of these cases. So I personally, when I lived in far north Queensland, I had a beautiful little dog called Izzy, and we were about an hour from my car. It was boiling hot. It was the build-up of the wet season, and she got bitten on the nose by a death adder. And I picked her up by a northern death adder, highly venomous. I picked her up and I ran as fast as I could to my car, but her heart rate was so high already. She was so, it took me a bit to catch her after the snake bit her, and she was dead before I got to my car, it was terrible. So yeah, I just, and the facial bite there, it's really hard to treat, like even for us, like that makes me really nervous about a facial bite. And I do know plenty of people that I've met over the years that have lost pets, especially people in rural areas. So yeah, look, give it a go if you see the bite and get a bit of pressure bandage, get a pressure bandage on there, try and get them to a vet. Otherwise, try and encourage your animals to avoid snakes. What I personally do with my dogs now is I show them snake skins and I literally reward them for leaving it alone. And now my two dogs I've got at home, Frankie and Hank, will jump sideways if they smell a snake, like to get away from it. All right, and I literally just did that with snake sheds that I found at home around the shed. So that taught them really well. I know a few people that do that. There's actually people that do businesses now that train people's dogs and cats to stay away from snakes. So if that's something you're into, Google them, look them up, and give it a go. Alrighty, now, the last question. The red line on the floor in here. This is for our venom encounters, right? So I need to give a bit of space between myself and the public when they come in to do these encounters. So they come in through the door there, they pile in like that, and they normally get right there, and everyone's super excited, and then I'll get a snake out. And it just gives me a nice safe distance, and the red line's obviously so they don't come past that, all right? We obviously have one of our guys with them. It's normally Tilly. She'll be here with the crew and she'll keep them at bay till I've got the snake restrained, and then I come in like this nice and close, and yeah, it's called the venom encounter. You guys should do it. It's unreal. You literally right here, I go boom onto a venom vial and talk all about the venom program in detail, what goes on here, and yeah, show you some cool critters, and you go from here to spiders, and there's a few other things you do as well. So the venom encounter, on that topic, we are giving away one of those with the Survival First Aid Snakebite Kit in the giveaway that I've been talking about. So I've just got the list of the things on here on the phone here that I've got to go through. But yeah, so if you win, you get the venom encounter, free entry to the park, and I'll hand give you a Survival First Aid Snakebite Kit, which is fantastic. So the rules: got to be following my Instagram, got to be following Reptile Park Instagram, subscribe to the channel for Venom Diaries, and everything is linked in the description below for this episode. Week from now, we will draw the winner. It'll actually be in next week's episode, so make sure you watch that to hear the winner. And obviously this is for Australia. Like, unless you're booking a trip to Australia, you're international, like we could make that work for you. But obviously you'd really need to be in the country for this to work. Yeah, follow those steps. I'm gonna put them in my Instagram on a post today. And we'll put that in the Reptile Park story as well. And then, yeah, we'll see you next episode with the winner. So again, thanks for your support of the channel. This is episode 10. It's doing fantastic. We're loving it. We're doing a big brainstorming workshop tomorrow to put some more ideas together for future episodes. We just want to keep ticking away. So yeah, remember, tell your mates, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you for episode 11.